Learning journals. The aims and objectives of this session to look at the EYFS requirements and assessment of children's learning and development to put together an effective learning journal. There are 4 guiding principles which should shape practice in early years settings. These are that every child is a unique child who is constantly learning and can be resilient, capable, confident and self-assured. Children learn to be strong and independent through positive relationships. Children learn and develop well in enabling environments in which their experiences respond to their individual needs, and there is a strong partnership between practitioners and parents and/or carers, and that children learn and develop in different ways and at different rates. The framework covers the education and care of all children in the early years provision, including children with special educational needs and disabilities. Assessment plays an important part in helping parents and carers and practitioners to recognise children's progress, to understand their needs and to plan activities and support. Ongoing assessment is an integral part of the learning and development process. It involves practitioners observing children to understand their level of achievement, their interests and learning styles, and to then shape learning experiences for each child reflecting those observations. In their interactions with children, practitioners should respond to their own day-to-day observations about children's progress and observations that parents and carers share. Observations. How do you observe children in your setting? What are you looking for? And how does this inform practice? Levels of achievement. Child development. It's really important to know the ages and stages that children pass through. What is an achievement and when to record it? Learning styles. Children have different ways in which they learn. By recognising their learning styles, we can help them to develop and learn. There are 4 types of learning styles: visual, kinesthetic, auditory and logical. Visual learners need and like to visualise things, and they learn through images and can remember the pictures on a page. They enjoy art and drawing and read maps, charts and diagrams well when they're older. They're interested in machines and inventions and play with Lego and other construction toys and like jigsaw puzzles. They can be a daydreamer in class. Kinesthetic learners, they process knowledge through physical sensations. They're usually highly active and not able to sit still for long. Communicate using body language and gestures and show you rather than tell you. They want to touch and feel the world around them. May be good at mimicking others and enjoy sports or other activities where they can keep moving. Auditory learners. They think in words and verbalise concepts. They spell words accurately and easily as they can hear the different sounds, so tend to learn phonetically rather than through look and say techniques. They can be a good reader, though some prefer the spoken word. Have excellent memory for names, dates and trivia, and like word games. They enjoy using tape recorders or CD players and often are musically talented. They're usually able to learn their times table with relative ease. And logical learners, they think conceptually. They like to explore patterns and relationships. They enjoy puzzles and seeing how things work, and they consistently question and wonder. They like routine and consistency, are capable of highly abstract forms of logical thinking at an early age, and do mathematical arithmetic easily. They enjoy games, computers and experiments with the purpose, and create own designs to build with blocks or Lego. They're not so good at a more creative side of activities. Interests. Children have many interests that are usually called schemas. Some of these are trajectory, rotation, envelopment, enclosure, transporting, containment, orientation, positioning, connection, and transforming. Assessment should not entail prolonged breaks from interaction with children, nor require excessive paperwork. Paperwork should be limited to that which is absolutely necessary to promote children's successful learning and development. Parents and carers should be kept up to date with their child's progress and development. Practitioners should address any learning and development needs in partnership with parents and/or carers and any relevant professionals. When a child is aged between 2 or 3, practitioners must review their progress and provide parents and/or carers with a short written summary of their child's development in the prime areas. This progress check must identify the child's strength and any areas where the child's progress is less than expected. If there are significant emerging concerns or an identified special educational need or disability, practitioners should develop a targeted plan to support the child's future learning and development, involving parents and/or carers and other professionals, for example, the provider's special educational needs coordinator or health professionals as appropriate. Some settings may have a 2-year checkbook. Beyond the prime areas, it is for practitioners to decide what the written summary should include, reflecting the development level and needs of the individual child. The summary must highlight areas in which his child is progressing well, areas in which some additional support might be needed, and focus particularly on any areas where there is a concern that a child may have a developmental delay. It must describe the activities and strategies the provider intends to adopt to address any issues or concerns. If a child moves setting between the ages of 2 and 3, it is expected that the progress check would usually be undertaken by the setting where the child has spent the most time. Practitioners must discuss with parents and/or carers how the summary of development can be used to support learning at home. Practitioners should encourage parents and/or carers to share information from the progress check with other relevant professionals, including their health visitor and the staff of any new provision the child may transfer to. Practitioners must agree with parents and/or carers when there will be most useful point to provide a summary. Where possible, the progress check and the Healthy Child Programme Health and Development Review at age 2 should inform each other and support integrated working. This will allow health and educational professionals to identify strengths as well as the developmental delay and provide support from which they think the child or family might benefit. Providers must have consent of parents and/or carers to share the information directly with other relevant professionals. In the final term of the year in which the child reaches age 5, and no later than the 30th of June in that term, the EYFS profile must be completed for each child. The profile provides parents and carers, practitioners and teachers with a well-rounded picture of a child's knowledge, understanding and abilities, their progress towards expected levels and their readiness for Year 1. The profile must reflect ongoing observation, all relevant records held by the setting, and discussions with parents and carers, and any other adults whom the teacher, parent or carer judges can offer a useful contribution. So what is a learning journal? How do you do yours? Some settings prefer to use online ways of recording this information, and some will do this in booklet form. Thank you for listening.